Tell you what's nice. Episode 3 of Casual Mold. Mold? I've got casual mold.
Kept you waiting.
Welcome to episode 4 of Casual Mode. No, I'm joking. It's episode 3. Karl somehow decided to rant about Baldur's Gate 3 into a quiet microphone, but I felt it was probably rude to interrupt him. He is the Northwest's version to Bradley Wiggins' ugly cousin. That's what you've wrote. So, yeah. Bradley Wiggins' ugly cousin. Bradley Wiggins' ugly cousin. Sounds like a vocal warm-up. I'm Dan as well. I'm Bradley Wiggins, slightly overweight, Jedward looking, ugly cousin.
By choice.
Not overweight.
No, the hair.
Oh, the hair, definitely. Yeah, the overweight part. That's It's a disease, Karl. It's a disease. We've got a number of talking points this week. We have the first one, which I've kind of spoiled already, the fact you're playing Baldur's Gate 3. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so I stopped about 6 months ago because I got stuck towards the end of Act 2. And I recently picked it back up. And I've been playing with one of my friends, Graham, who's an absolute nerd, very much into Dungeons and Dragons. So he's been helping me get past the difficult sections of Act 2. I'm now into Act 3, so my Steam Deck can no longer play it. So I'm Steam linking from my PC, which is also...
It can't play it?
So Act 3 is like notoriously difficult to run. And the Steam Deck, you put FSR on, and even then, low 30s, the fan's going crazy. So I'm playing it basically remotely from my PC, and it's fine. It's absolutely fine. And I'm having great fun because it's a splendid game.
Steam Link improved the quality of the game, as in like graphics wise.
Yes. So when I run it on the Steam Deck natively, I am running it low quality, and then I'm using FSR for like the frame generation to kind of pad it out a little bit. But it looks like trash. At least with Steam Link, I'm getting 60 frames a second. There's a slight bit of latency, but it's like full, high, very high, 720p. So it's not ridiculous for my PC to run. It's fine. It's good.
Okay, fair enough. But you enjoying it?
Loving it. Where did you finish playing with it?
Halfway through Act 1. I'm still one of the games that's in the backlog that I need to get back around to. But
the ever increasing backlog.
Yeah, I know. There's like that, Red Dead, Final Fantasy, Rebirth. I still need to finish Tears of the Kingdom, Persona 5. Yeah, quite a few chunky boys that I need to try and get around to. But with all those games, I decided to restart Alan Wake, which is why I'm wearing this t-shirt.
Ooh. Oh dear.
Oh dear, Dinah. Oh dear, Dinah. Not oh dear. Have you ever been tempted by any of those games? You played Control.
I played Control on the Steam Deck and I thought it was great. I recently picked up Alan Wake Remastered on the Switch. So I started playing that for about 15 minutes whilst drunk in a tent about 3 or 4 days ago.
Okay. Did you?
I did briefly, and then I fell asleep on my phone.
I don't remember you playing it. I was just like engrossed in Instagram. We shared a tent, but that's spoilers. We'll get to that in a minute. What could I say to try and persuade you to play Alan Wake 2? Well, first off, I wouldn't play the original because I think it's dated. Even the remaster of it is still it's a good game.
You don't have to.
I don't think you do, but you can probably watch pretty much everything on YouTube anyway. It's like a stitched together summary. Yeah. I saw some really good summaries because for most people that were into the original Alan Wake, I think it was like 15 years ago that came out on the 360. So yeah, you're going to need a refresh either way. But the story, to kind of give a bit of a summary, it's about a a writer that kind of summons supernatural things to happen without giving away too much. Um, and that's the first game, and things happen in and kind of like midwestern American town,
Mm.
which is pretty cool. It's got a load of really cool characters. It's in the same universe as Control because they've
Right.
now stitched the Remedy verse together, which is I liked it. I liked the little features that they had in Control about that, and the DLC that they had for Alan Wake. I didn't get around to it, but quite like that as well. The
I
idea
would
of it.
I would say that Control when I played it, A looked really nice. I had
Mm.
no idea what was going on, but it was still fun. Like it was fun to like throw shit at
Yeah,
things.
yeah. The
Um,
hiss.
yeah,
Yeah,
the hiss. I
yeah.
just didn't know what I was doing. It felt like I was playing
Yeah.
Elden Ring again, not because it was similar, but because I had no idea what I was doing. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me.
Oh, I got caught on the first boss. Not a boss.
A
Um,
twig.
it was a twig. So yeah, Alan Wake 2, more of the same, but it leans a lot more into horror. And I started playing it when it first came out and stopped maybe after like 6 hours. And I've got to a certain point where when I restarted it the other day, I was like, you know what, it doesn't feel right. I feel like I missed some story beats. I want to go back and
Yeah,
experience it again. It is absolutely stunning. So that's probably a first little tip for Carl. Um,
love the stunning.
horror, I don't really think you. Yeah, horror, I don't really think you like. From what you've
No.
explained, you refusing to go to watch Alien
Yeah.
with me. Yeah. That's pretty much it. Like, the music in it's phenomenal. Like the voice acting's fantastic. You've got incredible graphics and a really cool story that is borderline. Did you ever watch the Hannibal TV show?
No.
Yeah. Okay. So if you haven't watched that, or people that have watched it, very very similar to that. You know, where you've got kind of like a detective element to it, where you've got to
Mm.
try and figure out what the fuck's going on. So it's all very weird, all very strange. Speaking of strange, we went on a cycling trip. You
We
were made
did.
up about this. Like, it was something I really didn't want to do, and you were like, "Yeah, we're doing it,"
You
and you
faked
plotted
the
out.
you faked the neck injury for it to try and get out of it.
Yeah, I faked a neck injury. I faked. Right, so bit of context on neck injury. So what actually happened? We went to a soft play. I say we.
Not me.
My wife and kids, not Carl. We went to a soft play in the Lake District in Kendal, for anyone asking, and there's like this big slide. Well, I thought it was big. There was a slide in the middle of the room, and my eldest son was a bit worried about going on it. So I went, typical dad, I'll climb up to the top of this tiny little soft play, which is like in 3 tiers, and I'll go down the slide with him. So he's getting a bit worried because it's quite dark and it's like a closed slide. So as I'm going down it, my son grabbed my right leg, got really frightened, tried to climb up me. So I'm kind of like, I've got no core strength anyway. I've just got blob. So I'm like leaning forward, trying to grab him up and help him up. As I'm doing that, I've realised that the actual slide is getting shorter and smaller and more enclosed. And I'm now upright and I come to a complete stop, wedged in the slide with my head at the top and my bum on the bottom, and I'm just stuck in the middle in this like. I was like genuinely at one point, it was like I'm gonna die because I felt my neck like creaking and breaking. And then luckily a 4 year old just came and slammed into me from behind and sent me jottling down to the bottom. So, but yeah, that's how I fucked my neck, Carl, and it was a legit injury. So please don't try and play that down. Don't say I'm lying to the good people at home.
No, but you didn't complain about it whilst we were away, so I thought it was just a kind of preemptive. I don't want to do this.
I wore a
If
heat
I
pack.
if I, you did wear a heat pack, but
Did wear a heat pack.
does is there any scientific evidence to prove that they're actually useful?
No, it was pretty useless as well. It was a cheap one from I don't know where it was from, B&M or something. So it wasn't great.
It would have been good when it was manufactured.
Explain the route, Carl. Explain the route.
The route there or the route back.
The route there.
So the route there was a fantastic little route. It was 35 miles of flat terrain. We cycled through some really nice quiet roads, and eventually we got to the river. The River Ribble, and then we kind of like meandered alongside it. We had to miss a little bit because of some roadworks. Went underneath a viaduct. That was a personal highlight.
You were really happy with that.
I was
Yeah.
very happy.
Took a photo of it.
Took two. Took
Oh.
two. And I was looking forward to seeing it on the way back, but we We'll talk about that in a second. And then eventually, the last 10 miles, there were 4 inclines. The first 2, Dan tackled like an absolute lad. The last 2, he trudged up.
What degree were they, Carl? It's like the David Beckham and Victoria Beckham meme. What incline were they, Carl?
The average or the max?
The max. The last 2. One was 7. The last one was a lot bigger.
11. The last one was 11. And to be fair, anyone who likes cycling listening, so all one of you, the 11 is not that much, except we had a pannier rack with an extra 20 kilos of weight. So yeah, it was a touch and go. Those of us made of stronger stuff, managed it.
Gristle.
But no, it was good fun. It was good fun, and you did do really well, as begrudgingly as I do say it. You did do.
We nearly got molested at one point.
Yeah, unfortunately not, but we were quite close to getting molested in the garage.
Very early on in McGull, wasn't it?
Not far. Yeah, not far.
Yeah. So for people listening at home, so friend of the show, Pete, was on the cycle with us. His Halford, Carl and I got pannier racks from Amazon. Is that correct? Mine was from Amazon.
Mine
Where
was
yours from?
I got mine from a cycling shop.
A cycling shop. Peter also got his from a cycling shop from Halfords, but we're still pretty sure that he actually bolted it on the wrong way. So as we're coming up to McGull, which is maybe 25, 30 minutes away from where we started. Yeah.
That's where is it?
Well, I haven't mentioned where you live.
We have to edit it now.
I said we started in. I'm not editing this one.
I'm editing on, so it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Fucking not.
It's my new job.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So anyway, it is your new job. So anyway, So we started in
place.
And then a place. It took 30 minutes for us to get to McGull. And then as we're on a pretty busy main road, Pete's pannier rack decided to just pack it in and dropped everything off it in front of me, who was cycling behind him. So I had to slam on. Pete was none the wiser. He probably just thought it got lighter all of a sudden, carried on cycling. I screamed, had to clip a curb, and then I had a load of drivers stopping, saying, "Are you okay? Are you all right?" And then Karl ran down the bypass, which was reminiscent of when you had to run and bring me petrol that time.
Yep.
So you ran down in your little cycling gear and your cycling shorts to come and save me. So
really tight stuff.
Yeah. And as we did that, we realised that my pannier rack was also fucked, and for some reason a bolt had just fallen off. I blame the person that had put it on the night before, but
do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so, because it was fine after that. So
yeah.
So anyway, we got to a little garage that was 5 minutes away with petrol station attached to it. Really nice sausage rolls. And we were kind of waiting around there, trying to come up with a bit of a plan. And someone appeared that Karl knew, who had built his lean-to.
Yep.
So basically, this guy went, "I'll go and get my toolkit, and I'll be back in 5 minutes." Came back, fixed the car, fixed the bike, fixed the pannier rack. We were good to go. Anyway,
in the meantime, we got 4 pints of Karl and Export.
We did have 4-pint cans of Karl and Export.
Yeah.
And you drank all of yours. I drank half of mine, if that.
Yeah.
You should be impressed with yourself. So anyway, as we're about to set off, what car was it? A Ford?
It was either a Fiesta from 2003 or a Honda Civic type shit.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the latter. But I knew it was a red flag when I looked inside the car and it was just full of shit. And when I say shit, yeah, there were cuddly toys in there.
A football. Pieces of wood.
Just random pieces of wood.
Not in his
Max
kegs.
Verstappen, Max Verstappen Red Bull hat. That was strange. Oh, there it is. That was a joke. And the guy was probably the strangest part of all. So he was wearing some weird jumpery thing with a t-shirt on and a black skinny tie, not attached to anything. Just he had a V-neck t-shirt with a black skinny tie on
underneath the jumper as well.
Underneath the jumper,
yeah.
And immediately goes to. So I didn't notice any of the attire first, and he goes to Pete and I. "Oh, where are you going?" And Pete immediately, being the fucking nicest man on earth, just goes, "Oh, we're going to Clitheroe." And it's "Oh, for God's sake." And then he starts telling this guy about how the pannier rack had fallen off. And this guy's just like, well, I can follow you. I can follow. I've got a free weekend. I'll follow. And Pete's face dropped immediately, and I was like, we are in trouble now because we basically got a problem on our tail. So you came over because you were saying bye to the chappie who just helped us fix the bike,
I did.
and Pete and I just fucking bombed it off and left you with him.
Which I was confused about for all of about 30 seconds until I went, oh shit, this guy is nuts. That's why they've left.
Yeah.
But I plotted out half the route, and then he started asking. He kept on asking, like, okay, how about next? How about next? And I'm like, do you want me to get the route out of my phone? And he's like, yeah. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And then he said to me, why don't you quit your job for the next 3 months and just go cycle across Europe with me? And I went, right. That is not hyperbole. He legitimately said that to me, unbeknownst to him, obviously, all the stuff in work. And I'm like, well, you old romantic sod.
You're gonna regret asking me that.
Well, yeah, off we go. We're going to Antwerp. So I then quickly tried to scuttle away, and he's like, "Oh, what's your name, by the way?" And I went, "Tom." And I met up with you guys, and I immediately said, "He's gonna follow us. He's gonna follow us now." And then we get round 3 corners. We turn around. There's a car with his hazards on, just crawling behind us, making cars go past. And it took Papa Ward to go, "Hey mate, can you just come here a second? I need to have a chat with you." And
no, the best part was like, because we stopped, he'd obviously thought we were tired again, even though we stopped like 3 minutes after cycling away from the station. And he got out of the car, and he had 3 paper cups and a cheap like replica Red Bull. He's like offering this like energy drink as if he's legitimately like following us and trying to keep us like sustained across the journey to Clitheroe of all places. So yeah, politely said to him, like, "I'm really sorry, mate, but we need to go and do this." He was like, "Totally okay, totally all right. I'm going to be playing volleyball in Crosby. Me and my couple. If you make it back in time, do you want to come play some volleyball?" And I was like, "Yeah, mate, we'll make it. What part of Crosby?"
You gave him a fist bump.
I did give him a fist bump. I said,
"What
part of Crosby?"
Hands?
You know what? I haven't, and I've actually lost my hand.
Oh dear.
I know.
Wow.
I know.
Leprosy. Eh?
I know. Oh. Anyway, that was shit. The rest of the cycle was pretty good.
It was good. It was good. The food was amazing in the place we went to.
Oh, that was amazing. I know.
The old fashioned was very good.
What, the old fashioned? So what can't you do? You can't smell anything.
Can't smell. Yeah.
Can't smell anything. So what did you order?
Smoked old fashioned.
When and how did they present it?
Smoked.
Yeah, exactly. With a very, very nice smelling smoke, which is the whole point of the fucking drink that you paid. How much for?
£17.
£17 for one drink because it was smoked and it had a load of like pomp and farce around presenting it that you could not smell. Yep. And that was at least £7 of that drink, I reckon. So Pete and I were like, "Well, that's a nice smell.
Worth it."
Yeah.
It tasted amazing. So
yeah, and then you started a conversation in the pub because you decided to start letting off farts, and I was like, I felt sick.
Unconfirmed.
It was you confirmed it when you came out to the car park. So I went into the car park to wait for you both because I was like, this is fucking embarrassing. And then I was freezing after a while, and you two were in there for 30 minutes, like just chatting to random people because they were smelling your farts and calling you out for it.
Unconfirmed.
It was confirmed by you when you came into the car park afterwards.
Can you prove it?
No, I can't.
Okay,
but you confirmed it. Tell them about the bike ride home.
Right. So whilst we were in the restaurant eating a fantastic Chateaubriand Dan, because we are closet Tories.
You had it medium, which is closet pathetic.
I think you'll find I didn't. I had it the way you had it cooked because I didn't get it recooked, did I? So,
which, to be fair, was the highlight of the meal.
Like, what sauce is this? Peppercorn? No, Karl, that's blue cheese.
After having poured it all over your steak and telling me you didn't like blue cheese, but because you had a couple of drinks,
nice,
you went, "Oh, but I'm enjoying it," just because you knew you'd fucked up that much. It was brilliant.
Never give him an inch. The chips were nice. So whilst we were there, and I was taking photos with my beautiful new vintage camera, which is slightly an oxymoron to say, but that's okay. Yeah, built out a new route, which was rather than like the 7.5 hours it took for us to get there because of our breakdowns. It was forecast to be 3.5 hours.
Cycling, not mental.
No mental breakdowns. It was
No.
we were pretty safe in
We
that
were.
regard. Because Pete's a mental health practitioner, so
Might as well be.
he needed to be.
Needed to be.
And no, so we found a new route which was 3.5 hours back, but more roads, one climb, which incidentally, as we attacked it the next day, didn't even come up on my bike computer that it was a climb, and I was like, oh no, it's coming, but it's already gone. It's great.
See, the road back was like the first stretch of like, I think it wasn't, the first 20 or 30 minutes were fine, and then there was a road for about 10 minutes that was just
Fantastic.
very bubbly, very bumpy, and my bum was not thanking me for that.
Nothing to do with our sleeping arrangement.
Nothing to do with the sleeping arrangement. The fact you're in the tent gassing me out half the night. Formula One car.
Did you pay extra for the soundboard? Or
I was tempted. But yeah, that bike ride on the way back. Then we lost one
we
to
did.
Preston.
Pete shot
Yeah.
himself.
He did, which I don't blame him. He was basically cycling on a mountain bike. So to be fair to him,
Was he warned?
he was warned. The funniest part of that journey was when we actually hit some like rough terrain, and he flew ahead of us for like 3 minutes, and that was it. And that was the highlight, I think, for him. He was like, "Yeah, my suspension's kicking in now." Yeah, fuck you.
Whereas we go past Martin Meir and we're like, oh, Pete, where's Pete? He's gone. You can't see him anymore.
Because I was getting really excited because we were going past the ducks. So yeah, then on the way back, because we were down like dual carriageways on the way back then from Preston, and I was fully committed to trying to get home. My bike was just back me up. Was absolutely
Who the
good.
fuck built that?
Who the fuck built that bike? Who's ripped me off for that bike? So that bike started to hold on. Let me finish my story. Don't interrupt me. Whoever built that bike, idiot. So anyway, then we decided, you know what, this weather's absolute shit, so we'll go to Southport. So then the ride from Preston to Southport took about 2 hours.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's hard going, wasn't it? Because so Dan's for the non-technical, Dan's free hub, which is the bit where you're at the back of the bike, which makes the clicky noise. That was starting to fall apart, so that needs fixing, which Karl's going to fix. But that started to go to the point where Dan had to basically pedal at all times, or it would make a horrendous noise.
Which is the worst thing in the world for a fucking fat lad, by the way. When you're wanting that little rest and that glorious noise that you get from like having that rest, couldn't have any of that.
Especially when I'm behind you, just like.
Yeah, you're like fucking flying behind me in your souped up mega bike, and I'm there going.
It's a shit bike though. Thing is, okay, so for the last I don't know, for the last half an hour, you rode on my bike, maybe less than half an hour, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So you rode on my bike. It's not a soup bike. That's a shit bike.
It was a good bike for compared to what I'd been on.
True, but that's the wheels. I love those wheels.
Fucking noises of that trip. But anyway, we made it.
We made it indeed.
Do you know what else It was a good trip. Do you know what else we had to persevere through? That absolutely shit Nintendo Direct that was on the other night. Or yesterday, I should say.
It was midday. Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't... Go on, sorry.
No, I'm just saying we're recording on the 28th of August. So it came out on the 27th. What were you going to say?
As somebody who's only like dips his toe in the water for Nintendo Switch, because I don't get the same buzz that other people do for the Switch. I couldn't say that was an hour well spent.
I agree with you. I think just for anyone's purpose that didn't watch it, so it was Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase and an Indie World. And there were a couple of games that were heavily rumoured. I'm not going to say where we got those rumours from, but a friend of the show intimated that there was going to be there was going to be a certain game release that's most people are very encouraged to see on the Switch. That didn't appear, so that was a bit disappointing. However, we did watch the whole thing for the entire hour, which I could see Karl glazing over for most of the time. So I'm going to whiz through some of the games that were announced, and I'm going to ask whether or not you actually fancied any of these. Not in a physical way. Not like that. Car exhausts. Not like that. So the beautiful looking Neva from the developer of Grizz. Did you ever play Grizz?
No, was that the Spanish people?
Possibly, yes.
Paella. No, I didn't like it.
I've not played that Grizz either, and a lot of people, all the cross-players guys, absolutely love that. So it's something that I do need to revisit at some point. Moth Cubit didn't really look very good. The Coffee Talk game, no. Morsels looked a bit weird and interesting, but yeah.
I'm gonna
Peglin,
get a sore neck here. Peglin. To
Peglin.
be fair, I actually like Peggle,
I've
but
got
it was weird that they never mentioned Peggle.
yeah. If you need anything for your bad neck, then I'd recommend a bike ride and a heat strap that does fuck all. Yeah, that looked alright actually, Peglin, and that was released straight away, wasn't it? Oh no, it says Jiggles on Switch in December 2024. I thought it was immediate.
They said
Oh
later
yeah,
today.
it was. Sorry, no, it was. Nintendo Switch timed console exclusive, and yes,
I bet the
there
other
we go.
consoles are really pissed off about that.
Yeah, date everything. You could date the sofa.
Absolutely not. That was
No?
ridiculous. That was a pathetic looking game.
Someone, yeah, it says here on Eurogamer.net, you can date the sofa. Someone tell JD Vance.
Do you know that reference?
Yes, I've heard that reference.
Okay.
I'm aware of that reference. It is a problem. Wobbly Life, Pico Park 2, Wobbly Life was me on the bike.
That was all of us with the panny racks.
Really was, wasn't it? So Shovel Knight, Shovel of Hope, DX, Cuisinea, On Your Tail, okay, Metal Slug Tactics, and to be fair, one of the games that I really want to get, Plucky Squire. That looks amazing because that darts between like 2D and 3D, and you're in like a book, and then you can jump out the book, and you're in like a 3D world, and it looked very cool. Load of mini games.
Do you know
Then
what that would look good on?
and then Indie
No.
World, DS, yeah,
3DS.
yeah, 3DS. Indie World then wrapped up with a look at Pizza Tower, which is inspired by the 90s cartoons. Yeah, I mean, it looked, yeah.
You missed out on some things, though.
No, I've missed a load of things.
Oh, okay. I was going to say
I'm
there's
just going
the
through
Sea
them.
of Stars DLC, and then there was EAFC 25.
Yeah, you are right. AFC 25 will be a pile of wank, even though it is a full version of FIFA. And Sea of Stars, I've not played the original yet, so
You've not played Sea of Stars?
no, I
I'm
haven't.
pretty sure you told me to play Sea of Stars.
I think I did because I thought it'd be something that you would enjoy.
No, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Very like
I
it.
do need to
The
check
art
for that.
style's
I think I've had it on my Amazon wish list for the physical for a while, so I need to get that. Okay, so that was the end of the indie world. So then games with bigger budgets, Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase began with Tetris. Oh, like I'm fine with Tetris and I'm happy for people that get excited by Tetris, but like you're opening up a partner showcase with Tetris.
I just think it's indicative of where the Switch is, isn't it? It's just like a... Yeah.
Should we just keep? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You never watched the or listened to Switch Island, but I always gave it like towards. In fact, you know what? This example was given 4 or 5 years ago, towards the back end of a year, and I was like, it's when, the guys that are doing it's the Peter Kay joke. You know, where he's putting the guys that do the baggage at an airport. And they're like, yeah, go and put the small one on. Yeah, go and put that one on there. Like, literally, that's what it's like with the Switch.
Just
and
keeping
they're
them
like,
going, keeping them going.
yeah, go on, put that shit one over
they're
there.
Coming,
Put that
they're
little,
coming, they're coming.
put that plastic bag on. Yeah. What, date everything? Go on then. Yeah, then we saw Goat Simulator 3. We saw Star Overdrive. Yeah, I know. We saw a montage which had Legend of Heroes, Trails in the Sky, Star Wars Hunters, 3rd season, Stalker, Legend of the Zone trilogy, Return of Worms Armageddon in the anniversary edition,
Wait,
and
what was
there was a
Armageddon
SpongeBob SquarePants game where you
The
don't
Patrick
play
one.
SpongeBob, you
Yeah.
play with Patrick. Fitness Boxing 3, your personal trainer.
Yeah.
Yep. Capcom Fighting Game Collection 2, featuring Capcom versus SNK 2.
I mean, it's cool, but
Ongoing.
like...
Yeah, I mean that's good for people that like that game. That was okay. Again, not really for me. But guess what? More fighting. You can get Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics. Yeah.
One of my
Again,
favorite
great games,
PS2
but
games.
still, yeah. Atelier Yumia, The Alchemist of Memories and The Invisible Land is a very lengthy title, and that comes in early 2025. So that's a series, isn't it? The Atelier series, should I say.
Do you know how like the one of the head honchos in Nintendo said that the end of this fiscal year they're going to announce the new hardware? Does that mean that
Yes.
games that they're saying that are going to come out in 2025 are likely to be coming on Switch
Yes.
2 or whatever that? Okay.
It depends if they follow the same release cycle as what they did with the Switch, which was March, April, May.
Is that not annoying for them though because they're going to miss like the winter for like Christmas?
I don't think they care. So it came out on 3rd of March
I mean,
2017.
it's not really hurt the sales of the Switch, has it?
No, and I doubt really bringing it out at any other point would damage it, and it would be purposeful if it's in March, the end of the financial year. Actually, I don't even know what Japan's financial year runs like. Something for me to look up.
You either don't
Um,
know.
yeah, now you know. Square Enix's Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster, Gate Rune. That looked interesting as well, but not for me. Civ 7.
I mean, it'll be good. It'll be
It'll
good.
be good, but it's coming out on everything else on the same
Yeah,
day.
yeah. I mean, the Switch isn't really the console that I choose to play it on. I'd
Exactly.
probably just buy it on Steam, and then I can play it on my PC or my Steam Deck.
Yeah. Tales of Grace is remastered. It was a surprise announcement according to Eurogamer.net. A My Sims Cozy Bundle featuring My Sims and My Sims Kingdom launched on 19th of November.
Oh,
Ooh,
that looked really good.
okay. And Five Nights at Freddy's got DLC and games as well that are coming this winter. Final montage Disney Epic Mickey rebrushed 24th September. Tales of the Shire, which I actually do like the look of. Hopefully that reviews well because it'll be the
Mm-hmm.
first Game of Thrones game in a while that actually might review well after Gollum. Just Dance
Did you say
2025.
Game of Thrones then, rather than Lord of the Rings?
Oops, I'm tired. I'm sorry. Just Dance 2025, Funko Fusion, EA Sports FC 25,
What a
and
name.
Lego Horizon Adventures, which surprised you. I don't think you'd seen the original announcement about that.
No, I didn't, because it's
Yeah.
a Switch game.
Well, is it just Switch?
I've no idea.
I don't
Fair,
know,
I
actually.
don't play a lot of those Lego games. I assume I'm not really the target market for them.
Ah, it's a bit harsh. Let's have a look. No, it's on everything. By the look of it.
Mm.
Yeah, it's on Steam as well. Then you got it was wrapped up with two final titles. The first was a new Rune Factory game, subtitled Guardians of Zuma, coming in spring 2025. Features more battling and farming. And lastly, look at a Nintendo Switch port of Yakuza Kiwami, a remake of the PS2 original game. Like, if you are finishing off that presentation with a remake of a PS2 game, that is not a remaster, it's not a reimagining, it's just a remake. That is a problem. Because it originally came on PS4 in 2017, and that just shows where the hardware is at. Out of 10,
One.
a 1.
Is
I'm
that
not
too
gonna say
harsh?
it. Probably. I'm going to give it a 2. I'm going to give
That
it a 2.
harsh there, is it?
I'm going to give it a 2. Okay, moving on to something else that is not particularly doing well. We're being a bit negative here. We've been negative about a bike ride. Been negative about
It's a great bike
Karl's
ride.
forehead. We've been negative about the
That's
Nintendo
covered up.
Direct. It is covered up. Now we're going to talk about Concord.
Mm.
So Sony's latest big game, Concord, is flopping, according to Kotaku.com. PlayStation's new live service gamble doesn't seem to be paying off as well as Helldivers 2. So basically it's saying here it's very, very fun, but it looks very expensive, but it seems that very few people are playing it based on some truly abysmal numbers and stats. Concord was officially announced last year with a small teaser, formally revealed in May. Gameplay video looked more promising. It's a sci-fi PvP online only FPS that is not free to play. Instead, it costs $40, £40. The reviewer says, when I played the game's beta in July, I was concerned that the price tag would make it a hard sell in a crowded market, and now looking at the numbers available, it does look like Concord might be one of the biggest flops of 2024.
Yeah.
So it says nobody's really playing it on Steam.
No.
What was the number you said the
Max.
other
I
day?
think the max concurrent number was like 700 players.
Yeah.
So when you
So
consider that Wukong had like what 1.6 million.
yeah, yeah. And then in comparison, Helldivers 2 averages around 18,000 active players on any given day, and its peak number was 450k.
Wow.
Yeah. And meanwhile, Valve's not even released or finished shooter Deadlock has over 80k people playing it. 80,000 people are playing that, and it's not even fucking out yet.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people online incorrectly assume a high player count is the only metric for success for all games, which isn't accurate. But when we're talking about an online-only multiplayer shooter built around playing with other people, yes, the numbers do matter. Over on PS5, the data is harder to come by. Sony doesn't publicly share how many people are playing a game, but we can look at the list of bestsellers on PlayStation's official website to get a sense of what people are buying and not buying. And Concord is currently the 37th best-selling game on PSN. Wow.
Not exactly supersonic.
No, it's not really. You try to segue again.
No.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you are as well. I wanted to play this game. I genuinely wanted to play this game, twat. But I think the reason I didn't want to play was when you reminded me that it was 40 quid. And I'm like,
Why would you do it? If you want to play
why?
that kind of game, you just play a free alternative. Like me, you and Pete played Valorant for a while, and it's really fun. We're not very good at it, but it's really fun. Why would you pay a premium to play the same game?
Yeah. I was watching a meme today on Instagram. I think I shared it with you, and it was the guy that did Star Ocean, not Star Ocean. Basically, he made a game, an entire game. It was one of like a team of 30 people that were making a game, StarCraft 2, I think it was.
Okay.
And basically turned around and said the most demoralizing thing was there was a horse DLC in World of Warcraft.
And it made more money than the entire game of StarCraft. Yeah. I saw that.
And he said, and you wonder why people do microtransactions. Like, I don't want to endorse microtransactions, but if you're doing a shooter and you've got games out there like Halo Infinite and even Overwatch 2 have all moved that free-to-play model with microtransactions and series passes and all that kind of shit in it, just do that. Work for Fortnite. If your game's good enough, do
Need
that.
volume, don't you? Need volume.
Yeah. And if somebody wants to buy a skin and it's not pay to win, just go and like let them do that.
Like Rocket League, to be fair. It's the same model, isn't it?
It's a first party game. Like, so you could have all that Sony IP as skins.
Yeah.
And just do that. Do that,
Yeah.
make it free to play. And then get because it looks like a decent game. It looks like Valorant.
It looks cool.
Overwatchy
It looks cool.
kind of thing.
It looks like the kind of game that I'd enjoy playing. But like, why would you pay for the same experience as other games? Like I was watching IGN's review of it, and even the guy was like, "Look, it's a cool game, but really, there's nothing that differentiates it from the competition. So why would you pay the premium to just meh?"
Yeah, I know. But anyway,
I'd hate to see the budget on that game.
Oh no, it'd be horrendous. But you know what? We need to stop bleeding your heart out, Karl. Don't look back in anger.
I won't.
You're my Wonderwall. Sorry.
It's getting weird.
It was a bit weird. Oasis are back, mate.
I know. I'm so happy.
Yeah. It's like the trifecta of all the things that you should be disliked over. You're wearing a Verstappen hat.
Yeah.
You like Ricky Gervais.
Correct.
And you like Oasis.
I love Oasis.
Yeah. So
yeah,
you're gonna go?
I'm gonna try my best. Friday's gonna be a very sober evening. I'm gonna be in bed very early to wake up on Saturday morning. Is it Saturday or Sunday? I think it's Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday, like 8 a.m. and 9 a.m. And I'll be there. I'll be buying as many as I can. Apparently, you can get 4 at a time. So I've got lots of people who said, if you get any, get them for me. So I'll just be buying as many.
Oh no, you get mine first. Like 100% get mine first.
Well, you should be awake at the same time.
I will, but I trust you as a techie to be able to buy these things.
I have my coin holds no value in this domain, unfortunately. I'm just like you.
You need to build a bot. I think you could do it.
I called a former colleague from the old days, Lewis Halliday.
No.
who now lives in Canada, and I said to him, "What did you do?" And he went, "Oh, it doesn't work anymore."
Okay.
Because he used to
Uh,
spin up virtual machines back in the day, so he get different IPs, so he could refresh in different windows and try and get tickets.
you are a scumbag. Oh, he was
Not
anyway.
me. Yeah, yeah,
So that's interesting. So did you enter the ballot today?
I did. Yeah,
So the ballot process was interesting because it asked you a question,
yeah.
and it said, so the first, well, I asked two. So the first one was, have you ever seen Oasis before?
But the answer is no.
Which I said never, and I did sweat a bit on that because I was like, "Ooh, actually, you know what? That seems a bit strange to ask that question. I wonder if they're wanting people that have seen them before to kind of go and watch them again."
Yeah,
And then the next question was, who was the original drummer?
Tony McCarroll.
And yeah, yeah, did that.
Have
So
I just quickly Googled that in the background because I was thinking I must remember this before Dan asks me because it's definitely coming again. Yes, I may have.
just in case they're watching, just in case Noel's watching. So the ballot, the thing about that that's quite funny is that they then had to post up a message saying, please bear with us because you will get an email confirming that you have entered the ballot, but it may come like hours after the actual ballot's been entered. I
I
still
haven't
haven't
got
got
one.
mine.
No.
No.
Okay.
And I did. When did I send it to you? Before eight
This
o'clock.
morning. Yeah.
Yeah, like 8 o'clock in the morning.
I didn't
So
like that you could not opt out of the SMS or emails as part of the marketing stuff.
yeah, that was not good.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Nothing naughty.
that was a bit naughty. I did think that. Um,
But I just
and
don't
then
want to
it
go. So
and then it did say like if you get the question wrong, you won't be entered into the ballot as well. I want to know how many people failed that question. We didn't have the nous to like Google it and just thought, you know what, I'll fucking wing it. Be quite a few,
I mean,
possibly.
I assume so, but it took 2 seconds. Quickly, I haven't got a fucking clue.
I don't know what I'm doing. Speaking of not knowing what they're doing, Chelsea are Chelsea are buying everyone. Looks like I've just seen Fabrizio Romano say,
Oh,
I know. Where is it? Yeah.
is this like live happening? Breaking news,
Yeah, so Juventus and Chelsea remain both in talks for Jadon Sancho.
right?
So that's still happening. And then you've got the Osman issue as well. So now Al Ali, the
Yeah, I saw that.
Saudi
Yeah,
team of now their delegation are in Italy to speak to him
yeah,
about the
because they're
potential.
willing to give him a release clause, but Chelsea aren't, or something.
No, the release clause is something that both are willing to offer, but I
Oh,
think
okay.
he's getting offered. I worked it out £567,000 a week based on the contract that he's getting presented by Al Ali,
And there's no
and
taxes
knowing
are over there.
they don't get any tax on
Hmm.
sports people or whatever
Never
it is.
mind, Dan.
Yeah, but apparently it's still, according to Fabrizio, it's still in Chelsea's hands. And as soon as we can't give him what he wants, he's got that back up there. In which case, then we'll go for even Tony, which I don't think is a terrible
No, not at
option.
all. In some ways, I think he's probably better.
In some ways, I
He's
prefer it.
proven. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
proven. You know,
he's
I'd lump a bit on even Tony being better than Osman.
young though, Asserman, and he's yeah. I love a bit. Very funny. Sorry.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, we shall see. And then you've
I
just
think
bought some shit Italian player.
we got Chiesa from Juventus for 10 million with 3 million in add-ons. He's 26, I think. He plays right wing, but he can play on both sides.
I thought he was older than that. That's good.
His name means church. Uh, um, he's a
Okay.
good player. He plays for the national team. 10 million
Mm-hmm.
in this day's market. Like we just sold Sepp van der Berg for 20 odd million. So like it's a no brainer.
Carvalho went for 27.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I know.
yeah.
So I mean, it's not the position that we need. We need a defensive mid, but you know, I don't see how Slot's going to line up. If he wants a double pivot, then he's got Endo, Gravenberg, McAllister can play there, but really he's a forward thinking player. Szoboszlai's forward. Curtis Jones maybe could drop back, but I don't know.
I
We
think
just need a defensive mid.
we've got maybe 10 players that we need to get rid of. So Sterling needs to go.
No, thank
Chilwell
you.
needs to go.
No, thank you. Got any defensive
Um,
mids?
we've
Yes, you
just
do. Can we
loaned.
have Lavia? No. Can we have Caicedo? Wouldn't want him.
Nah, no. Well, I would. Caicedo's been very, very good.
Has he been
Um,
120
no,
million?
no one's worth that amount of money. But yeah, he's been better. So
Lavia's been good though.
Lavi's, well, when he's been fit, he's been good. So I think that's fine. But yeah, we've got maybe I think 7 or 8 outgoings that we need to probably
Any more hotels?
no hotels, just homegrown players. You know that all of the fan base love. But it looks like Chalobah's going to stay, which is quite cool because it was basically the headline I saw was the internal team at Chelsea are really impressed with the way that Chalobah's been treated. So yeah, because you treated him that way. You were like horrible to him. You've made him like play with the reserves and train with the second string. Like of course, like he's got to be a consummate professional because you hold the key to his career.
Yeah.
So apparently, yeah, we're really impressed with his attitude, which basically means we think we've got some other shit defenders that we need to get rid of over and above Chalobah. So let's do that instead.
Yeah.
But then Maresca came out before and said, no, all of the players that are in that group who aren't training with the first team need to leave. And he said, is there any way back for Sterling? He went, no way back. So I really like him, good qualities, his stats speak for himself, but there's no way back. Decision's done, which I really like.
I think that's a dangerous way to play. Footballers are quite fickle, aren't they? They're prima donnas.
I think they are, but I think it's also quite good to know that it's like all the best managers are like that.
But what if the results don't follow?
And we've got rid of Sterling. I still think based on
I mean, in
I don't know
general,
if
by
you've
the
seen.
way, if he's going to be
Oh
brutal
no,
and
no,
then you don't,
no,
the
no,
results
I
don't
totally
come.
agree. But I think that's the game that he's playing, or that most managers playing anyway. You've got to have a certain level of being cutthroat because you've got squads of 40 that you need to trim down to 20. Well, he's only training with 21 players or 22 players, which is basically the standard of what most managers do. But he's made it very clear that everyone outside of that needs to be moved on.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know. I heard Liverpool are still in for a defender and then potentially, like you said, a central midfielder. But I don't even know who's left in the market. It feels like
Not sure.
moments
Yeah,
gone.
not sure. It does feel like that. Maybe we just get someone as a backup. I mean, I like Endo, so I'm not bothered. I like Gravenberg, so I'm not bothered. But there's no depth there. That's what concerns me. I like that. I like that they brought in. I'm not going to butcher his name. The Georgian keeper,
Okay.
Malakthili, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
And they've reloaned him back to his team for a year. I guess
Valencia.
that means to Valencia. So I guess that means Ali's going in a year's time, which fair enough. Like he'll be what 33, 34. He's still got years left in the tank. He's an absolute legend. Go to Saudi Arabia, sort your family out for the rest of their life. Like fair play. You've won it all, Ali. You've won it all, mate. Don't worry about it.
I love that you never begrudge a player to go to earn mega bucks in Saudi, and like most people are like, yeah, you fucking, you're a horrible person. Why are you doing that? You this and that. It's like no,
They've got short careers, haven't they?
very very short career.
Got to look after yourself.
Yeah, mercenary-esque to go and do it, but like they're not killing people. They're playing football. So
we
yeah,
we should do an episode of the ethics of going to play football in Saudi Arabia.
I don't think we should because I think that would we would lose. Because I think the ethics of playing anywhere in Saudi or doing anything in Saudi Arabia is a problem.
We can get Jordan Henderson on.
Oh yeah, rainbow laces. That'll go down well, won't it? Yeah, Mr. Hypocrite.
He's definitely not joining now. Fucking hell.
No, he definitely isn't now. Howie. But yeah, it's going to be interesting couple of days. The transfer. So again, we're recording on the 28th, which is the Wednesday. So the transfer window in the UK shuts on Friday at 10 o'clock. Is it?
Amazing.
It's a bit of a weird one. Amazing. Okay, thinking of things that have closed. The ballot is closed for rejects, Karl, and we're going this year.
We are going this year.
Are you happy about that?
Yeah, I had a really good time last year, so I'm excited to go again.
That was your first EGX, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we're going to go.
Yeah.
It is paired with Comic Con as well this year.
Which I don't enjoy.
No, I don't particularly enjoy that. Yeah, I don't know. That part would be strange. So it'll be like the usual kind of like cosplaying. Now I've got to try and guess what other people are cosplaying as. there's going to be Deadpool people there, and it'll be like Wolverine, and they'll be like, "Can I have a photo with you?" And then we got like, it just sounds like a
Do you reckon
nightmare, mate.
anybody's going to cosplay as you?
What, as a fat moaning man
I was going to say coming in
with
cycling
spiky hair?
clothes, but
I wear my cycling clothes. It's a bet if you want me to.
no.
Why not?
We can do much better than that. I've
Okay.
seen you do that for free. So if we're gonna put a bet on it, you're turning him up with a
All right,
cigar and a
you
tracksuit.
pay you pay for my Oasis ticket. I'll wear whatever you want.
What's the price?
I don't know yet. Like 250 quid or something stupid.
Oh dear.
Um, yeah, you do that then. You pay for my ticket, and then I'll wear what you want. Consider it. But I'm excited to go to it. It should be interesting.
What was your highlight from last year?
Ooh, I always enjoy the meals of the evening. They're fun.
Oh, the pizza we had.
Yes, the pizza
Yeah, that
was
was good.
amazing.
Yeah, that was good.
I like those. And what else was I going to say? In terms of games, it was pretty weak, if I'm honest. I don't think there was anything particularly. I think most of us enjoyed Prince of Persia when we were playing it, although I didn't really get into it when it actually released. So
Mario Wonder.
yeah, Mario Wonder probably. But even then, like when I was playing it, it wasn't. It was no, that the demo did not do the game justice, so it was the other way around
No.
with Mario Wonder, where I thought that was an absolute solid 9. Um, when I was playing it, but like I said, the demo wasn't the best thing in the world. But hopefully, it's more. There seems to have been a lot of good demos at Gamescom this year, so hopefully we see some of those come
Not
to.
Persona 5 Tactica. No.
No,
Not
the merch was good.
Total War. Oh, do you know what? It was such a flop. I can't remember what was it. Total War? Christ, I can't even remember which one it was.
Yeah, not that. But we saw
No.
a couple of good like talks, like the guy from like Miles from Football Manager. That was pretty
That
cool.
was my highlight.
Yeah,
Then there was a guy from Remedy who lied about physical copies of the game.
he did. Did he?
He did, because they come out with physicals
Yes, you are
a
right.
couple of weeks ago.
They're not out yet.
You're the gaming one. I shouldn't be
No,
telling you this
I
stuff.
pre-ordered one, but they're not out yet.
Did you?
Of course, I did.
It's
Great
a
game.
good game, is it?
Yeah. And I've got the flask from that as well, which cost me £35.
His
and that's all
personal
that.
flask, or
His personal flask. He licked
Wow.
it and signed it for me.
did you change
And
the
then he
liquid
did the
inside,
same on
or
the
is it
flask.
just festering away?
What?
Did you change the liquid inside, or is it just festering away?
No, it's legit, proper old-fashioned flask, but it's like a
Oh, old fashioned.
proper made one. Yeah, from a company in I think Finland, where they're from.
That's good.
Okay, so I've reading what you've got on here. You've used to put general ideas for the podcasting because I think you'd had a couple of drinks before we start the podcast, so I'm not going to read those out. I've done my deal of the week. I'm going to
Excellent.
quickly talk about that. So I put down a historic Welsh. Thank you, Carl. Carl's replaced my deal of the week with, let's have a look, free access to historic Welsh. He's absolutely pissed himself now. Let's have a look. Free access to historic Welsh monuments throughout September. More than 200 historic landmarks. It is free. You can get that deal over at hotukdeals.com. Hotukdeals.com. Thank you for that. Luckily, I think I can find my deal relatively quickly because it was over on gg.deals. And it was, where are you? Yeah, Mafia Definitive Edition was £5.11. You can get it on Game Pass if you wanted to, but if you want to buy it outright, you can go over to Humble Bundle, I think, and they've got it for that price, and that is still there for 4 days. So when the podcast comes out, it will still be available. Carl, what's your deal?
Mine is very topical because it's one of our talking points. It is the vinyl edition of Nebworth '96.
Knobworth.
Yeah, if you'd like to call it that. So yeah, just chance to own a piece of history in vinyl format. It's £39.60. I think that's a deal in anyone's book, especially people who like Oasis.
Absolutely not. £39.60, Nebworth 1996. That was released on the.
I was 4.
Okay, a bit strange.
How old are you then?
I don't know. The definitely maybe 30th anniversary edition looks far nicer. That's a link on the bottom of that. That has got a pink vinyl. That looks quite cool. And a lot more songs on it as well.
Can't even see that on my screen.
Well, you
Either
screenshot.
way, just something like that. It's just nice, isn't it? It's just a bit different.
Okay, yeah, a bit different. Again, just the impact of Karl deciding to have a drink before podcasting this evening, and he replaces my deal of the week with free access to historic Welsh monuments throughout September, and decides to put a Oasis vinyl for 39 pounds 60 as his own fucking pick as well. Very, very briefly, so I didn't talk about it for the last couple of weeks, but we've got a couple of good TV shows that are out at the moment. So Soph and I are working our way through Sopranos. I'm not going to talk about that because it's fucking amazing. If you haven't watched Sopranos, watch Sopranos. But we finished season 2 of House of the Dragon. You
Mm,
watched season 1 of this, didn't you?
I did.
And you were
It was
happy
good.
about it? You thought
It
it was
was
all
good.
right?
It was good. Yeah. There's that, and there's is it Wheels of Time?
Oh, Wheel of Time. Yeah,
Wheel
yeah,
of Time. I need to watch the new season of that.
yeah. Yeah, I've not watched that. Soph liked that. So
And the Boys season 4. I need to watch. I've got a big backlog of stuff.
sounds like you have. So House of the Dragon season 2, it's been criticized quite heavily, I'd say, online, as in the entire season, not a lot really happens, but it does have some absolutely incredible set pieces. Um, and
Trent
I
Alexander Arnold.
and I enjoyed the majority of the season. I think the acting in it is absolutely fantastic, and Matt Smith as Damon is still an absolutely inspired choice, I think, in terms of character. But again, I'm not going to ruin it too much for people that haven't watched it. The story it follows is basically one of it's like the War of the Roses, kind of like civil war between Targaryen household, and loads of people like Jocelyn to try and take control of the Iron Throne. But because Targaryen's synonymous with dragons, and both groups or factions have several of these dragons, it really is a bit of a kind of like a power struggle between who can actually use their dragons in the most appropriate way to leverage win. So different things are happening. There's different relationship issues, and yeah, a couple of little plot twists in there. But yeah, good season. I'd probably say a solid 7 out of 10, which I think probably falls in line with what I saw on IMDb for it. So yeah, definitely good. Again, 28th of August is the day that we are recording, and we've got the new season of The Rings of Power coming out tomorrow. Did you watch the first season of that?
No.
No, no, he did not. You did not miss a lot, Carl. That was a solid 5 out of 10. Um, However, I've seen a couple of early previews for this, including Empires, where they're giving it very, very glowing reviews, and it
Okay.
looks as if they may have nailed the formula. One reviewer said basically it invokes a lot of the feelings from the original trilogy of films, which is
Bold.
exactly what you want to hear for a Game of Thrones TV show. So quite, not Game of Thrones, done it again, Carl. Lord of the Rings
The
TV show.
inverse
So
this time. The
I
inverse.
did the opposite this time. So I am quite looking forward to watching that tomorrow and getting stuck into it. And hopefully the rest of the season will be fantastic. So that should be good. But yeah, they're TV shows, and more of an FYI, but we started watching Mindhunter.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, never watched it. So I think it's like 3 seasons of that for us to work through. So first couple of episodes interesting, and I'm presuming it's going to be very much about conversations with serial killers and kind of how that
Yeah.
transpires and what that kind of opens up in a kind of, I guess, Silence of the Lambs kind of way, like feeding them bits of information of things that are happening with killers and crime and letting them help fix it, sort it, kind of thing. So, but that's good. Anything else you want to talk about?
Question for you.
Go on.
Who is your favorite Doctor from Doctor Who?
I'm not a Doctor Who fan, but I did watch all of the David Tennants, so I'll probably say David Tennant.
I agree.
Yeah, is that it?
You mentioned Matt Smith, and I was thinking, oh, some people prefer Matt Smith, but
I did watch some of the Matt Smith ones. I did like it, but
So I stopped at the Matt Smith. So he was my final one, and then that was me done.
yeah, I
I
never
quite like
watched
Christopher
Eccleston.
Eccleston. No, he was good. He was
Never
good.
watched those.
Well,
Never watched them.
bit of an ego apparently, so he left.
Okay. Yeah, I've not watched many since. I think I've seen like the odd episode. Like usually, if they're on Christmas or something, I'll stick it on just as background noise. But I never remember what's the name of the showrunner that did those seasons. Can't remember. In fact, you know what? Because we're on an actual fucking thing podcast that we need to talk about these things. Showrunner, Doctor Who, Tenet. It is who was the showrunner for David Tennant? Russell T. Davis. That's it.
Hmm.
Um, and if I
He's
remember
back now, isn't
rightly,
he?
yeah, he is, but I think he's still getting a bit slated for it. But he did Torchwood. He did
They did
Torchwood, of
Torchwood.
course.
Torchwood was good.
He did It's a Sin, which was very, very good. What else he done? That's all the episodes. Oh, he's done so many episodes, Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought like his input on those Doctor, that kind of like couple of series Doctor Who was really good. But
Yeah.
then after it, I never got drawn into the fandom at all.
Fair. That was my final question.
Okay, thank you for that question. I
You're
appreciated it.
welcome.
Okay. Well, this has been episode 3 of Casual Mode. Carl has been slightly tipsy and has a mammoth effort to go and edit this podcast
Easy peasy.
because we lost internet at one point, so we're
We
gonna
did.
have a fun time.
Yeah.
It says on here every Friday we're on YouTube and Spotify, but more to come, including Pocket Casts, because Carl's trying to figure out how to do it.
Yes.
Yeah, but we are now on YouTube and Spotify. Please give us a sub; it helps us a lot and always gets the podcast out there. Tell your friend, just the one, not more than one. That'd be weird. Okay, that's it. Bye.
Goodbye.
Stay casual.